A very good morning to you. Welcome to the midweek edition of the paper review on Quest Television. My name is Alex Obunnaya. Today on the program we have, as usual, 5 papers: The Punch, Daily Trust, Nation, Guardian and Vanguard newspapers that we shall be reviewing. And to do that with me is Comrade Efe Odomo. Good morning to you, Comrade.
Yeah, good morning, Alex Obunnaya, the Alex Zito of our time.
Oh, that's a new one.
Yeah.
Well, if I were to be the church-going people, I would say I claim it.
Hallelujah. I claim it on your behalf.
But I'm not claiming this. I'd rather remain Alex Obunnaya. Okay, quickly now, let's go straight to the dailies. We will be kicking off with the Punch newspaper. And the lead story on the front page is one that Comrade Odomo would like, because it has figures attached to it, and he is a man of figures. Huge figures at that. Nigerians spent $98 billion on foreign trips, education in 10 years. This is according to the Central Bank of Nigeria. Federal government vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Okay, you can also get that on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Below the NAF story, Customs sees 854 million naira vehicles, orders in January. That's according to the Customs, the NCS, that's the Nigeria Customs Service. Killer kidnappers free slain Kwara monarch's wife, 13 suspects nabbed. Dangote will list refinery fertilizer companies. Okay, that's Dangote will list refinery fertilizer companies. That's according to the Nigeria Foreign Exchange Group chair. And still on the front page of the Punch newspaper, this time above the masthead, Tinubu returns, orders emergency meeting on food crisis. Naira weakens as at official markets, banks sell $584 million. And finally, IOCs withhold fresh investment over $13 billion debt. You can read up that story on page 20. That's that from the Punch newspaper. Let's turn our attention now to Daily Trust. House of Reps wants action to end hunger. That's the lead story on the front page of Daily Trust. Cost of living crisis. House of Reps wants action to end hunger. And it has some riders beneath. Asks federal government to import grains, drugs, others. Lasting solution coming. That's according to Cardozo. Tame corruption, wasteful spending. Northern elders. Presidential Food Committee meets. Okay, those are the riders below the House of Reps want action to end story. And still on the front page of the Daily Trust, directly above the House of Reps story, dad accused of defiling 8-month-old daughter remanded. Okay, 8 months old.
8 years or 8 months?
8 months. Can you beat that?
That is satanically satanic.
Wow. Excessive taxation on telcos counterproductive. That's according to NCC. And below we see this one: 17 feared dead in attacks on Benue communities. We still hear of these attacks. Jakba, federal government builds migrant center for Nigerians willing to return from Europe. Afghan Super Eagles Bafana in Make Oma clash today. Government to build 6 new cancer centers. All of these you can find on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper. Excuse me. The Nation is up next. Federal government, our economic policies yielding fruits. That is the lead story on the front page of the Nation. Edun, we are improving living standard. How we are bringing down inflation by Cardoso. Bagudu explains revenue targets, more palliatives for vulnerable Nigerians. Okay, and above this one, no petrol subsidy issues, says NNPCL. That's on page 7. Tinubu back from Paris. That's on page 4. APC opposition through brickbats over Mina Kano protest. And above the masthead of the Nation newspaper, Nigerians spend $40 billion on foreign education, healthcare. Ladi Adebutu, others charged with money laundering. Kogi money not missing, state government tells EFCC. Okay. Government to release food items from reserves, to crash prices. Government to release food items from reserves to crash prices. Will that help? Comrade Omo, I know is itching to have a bite on that. Okay, we'll see how that goes. Alake is Africa's mining minister's chair. Motekun arrests 149 in Ondo. You can get that on page 5. Quickly, we go straight to the Guardian newspaper. Inflation, price hike, push an egg a day diet beyond Nigeria's reach. You can read up that story on page 8. Egg now, I hear it's chasing 200 naira.
Of course. And they say rising.
Still rising. Okay. Regional groups hinge coups on hardship, failure of democracy. Bishops, northern elders lament rising inflation, hardship, insecurity. Naira free fall, CBN blames rising number of Nigerians schooling abroad, medical tourism. Is that true? NNPCL spends 267.98 billion naira on security, oil operators struggle. Lagos TUC others protest ban on sachet alcohol, cite potential 500,000 job loss. Mau shuts down others immediate vacation of students from campus. Okay, and let's see if we can sneak in one last one from the Guardian newspaper. Nigeria, Burkina Faso, 4 others to experience food crisis till May 2024. Okay, Vanguard is up next, and is the last paper up for review this morning before we bring Comrade Odomo in. Protests over high food prices, no food shortage in Nigeria. This is according to the federal government. You can read up that story on page 4. The riders are pleased with. Okay, this is not very clear now. We'll just have to, leave it. The prints here are smaller. Stabilizing Naira, tax for all Nigerians. That's according to Cardoso. Petrol queues emerge in Lagos and environs. And talking sports, it's going to be very tough against Nigeria. That's according to Neil Tovey. And Neil Tovey used to be a former South African international. Osime now fit to play. And still on the front page, kidnapping, police nab suspected octogenarian, kingpin over Ekiti Kwara killings. Wow. Labour protest at NAFDAC over ban on alcoholic beverages in sachet. Edo Guba respect zoning principle of Basaki Oshomole told. Insecurity, Tinubu orders security agencies to curb criminal activities. Kogi tackles EFCC over 60 billion naira fraud charges against ex-governor Bello. And of course the list goes on and on and on and on. Okay, here is where we end it now. And so this is where we end the review of the dailies. Comrade Odomo, I know you've been listening with keen interest.
Yes.
The story is making the headlines on the front pages of The Guardian, Vanguard, Nation, Daily Trust, and Punch newspapers. Okay. There's this one that really, that tickles my fancy. I'm going to look for it now. I think, okay, while I search for it, let's look at the appearance, the CBN governor, in fact, the men who run the economy of this country, the CBN governor, the Minister of Finance, Bagudu, and Zach Adedeji. They appeared before House of Reps yesterday, and the House is telling them, look guys, end hunger in the country. Daily Trust captions its own, House of Reps wants action to end hunger. How can this be done? They're asking the federal government to import grains and drugs. Can all of these end hunger or reduce the price of foodstuffs in the markets?
Well, thank you so much. I've not seen any way this can end hunger in the country. There are some indices that they are supposed to put into consideration that is not being considered. If you want to end hunger, go to the source of the food and secure it, not by importation. If you base your consumption on importation, what of the day importation is delayed? What happens at the home front? We have food basket states in the country all over, especially in the north, then very few in the south here. Now all the areas that were expecting food from the north are all being ravaged by bandits activities and terrorism. Nobody wants to go to the farm again. I cannot go to the farm to go and produce food that will feed you and me. Then somebody will come and eliminate me, and the government will not do anything about it. Until they secure those areas, I can bet you this thing will linger on. And the cost of moving those products from the hinterland to the urban areas is becoming astronomically high. The transport system is high. Nobody wants to sell below his cost price. And when you buy at a very high cost, and by the time you add other variable cost to it, definitely your selling price must go up. So it's not by importing grains. How many people do you want to import grains for? And look at the dollar rate now. If you import grain at this rate of the dollar, tell me how can you force the prices down? There are so many things that the government are playing. They are playing politics with. The first thing for them to have done is look at Nasarawa, they have rights. Look at Abakaliki, they have rights. Why don't you enforce and enforce? How do I put it now? Why don't you shut up their sources of raw materials and even pump more money to them? If possible, give them subsidy. Subsidize and give them tax-free period for them to pump rice into the market. That one will take care of some of the areas. As of yesterday, my wife was telling me a bag of rice is now 77,000. Then you want to import. If you import on that amount,
the current rates.
And by the time you now talk of foreign exchange rates, the equalization policy, then which means we are talking of 80 something to 90. Tell me, how can a common man feed on that one? That idea should be jettisoned. Tell us what you want to do locally to make us food sufficient. The yams come from the north, especially Benue. There is some civil unrest in Benue. Every day, people are being killed. People are being chased out of their communities. They cannot go to the farms. When you even manage to go to the farm, you get there, cattle have ravaged all your crops. And what do you think you can do? No, it is a very terrible situation. The government should come hard. They should come down hard on insecurity. By the time they are able to secure the country, for everybody to walk freely, though there is no country in the world that is 100% secured. But if your level of security is about 90, then you say that you're in safe haven. But this one, we don't even have any. We don't have anyone to leverage on. Secure the farmland, secure the transportation area, and if you want to secure the transportation area, you have to also do something about the petroleum products, because that is what you use to pilot the vehicles. So bring all these ones down, automatically the prices of the commodities will come down.
Okay, let's go to the Guardian newspaper. That's what I was actually looking for. Naira free fall, CBN blames rising number of Nigerians schooling abroad and medical tourism. Is that true?
Who is granting them the visa to travel for the overseas study trip? Is that the same government? Is it you and I that will go and stop them from traveling overseas? What type of excuse are they giving? A bad man blames his working tools, but a good man will tell you, okay, it's a mistake. Sorry, I want to correct it. How can you come out and tell the world that because of the people travel a lot for medical education overseas, that's why the naira is crashing? It's not an excuse at all. If you know the reason why they are traveling is because your educational standard is low, why don't you plow that money into your own local educational system and let these people stop traveling? They cannot create a problem and start blaming it on people. I was watching one party where about 3 men were having about five bundles or five packets of dollar in $100 denomination, spraying only one person. And they carry this like this in the public. The EFCC will now sit down and be watching. They will come and arrest somebody on the road that you are an internet for. While those people are being left to trample on the dollar as they wish. Tell me how much will it cost them in naira to purchase those dollars? They are not looking at that rate. Our university system is down. Our health sector is down. Our power sector is down. Then you are spending about like 8 billion for some people's children to be in overseas schooling. And you are very proud to come out to say that that is the cost of the Sunday. Are you being twisted to give them that money? If they apply and you say there is no money, what will happen? What will happen to it? Is there that man on the street that is going to CBN to release that foreign exchange to the people to travel? They should give us a better excuse. If they know that they are confused, like we said yesterday, call those that have the knowledge. It's not a crime. It's not a thing to be ashamed of. Oh, look, come, let us sit down together and say we can move this economy around. Don't depend on your knowledge alone. If you depend on your knowledge alone, you will fail. Nobody in the world has monopoly of knowledge. Somebody somewhere may know what you don't know. And you also know what the other person don't know. That is why the Englishman came out with the word knowledge. The meaning of knowledge is I know, but you have the edge. So by joining the two, it becomes a knowledge. Somebody else has the edge. If you know somebody out there has the edge, but you know, bring the person together. Overcome. Let us join these two words. I know it, you have the edge. Let us have the knowledge together. And let us push this economy forward. Are you telling me now that after sending those children abroad, you go and tell them to come back because the foreign exchange is high? You nip it at the bottom where the whole thing is coming out from.
Okay, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. And there's a story here on the front page of The Guardian. Insecurity, Tinubu orders security agencies to curb criminal activities. We've been hearing of these all the time. Words, 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 words. The security heads will be summoned or will appear before the Senate today, and probably today and tomorrow they will be grilled, and all we will hear are just
we're on top of the situation.
BB grammar. We need what can be done to arrest this trend?
Somebody said it one time. Look, not even somebody, Abacha, that if an insecurity situation lasts for 48 hours, then the government of the day is involved. People wave that statement aside, but that's the fact of the whole matter. You can arrest somebody carrying a dame gun to the farm or to the bush to go and hunt for animals that he will eat. But somebody will carry AK-47 and travel from the whole breadth of the country, from Port Harcourt to Kaduna to Kano to Maiduguri, and nobody will see them. Nobody stops them. Then tomorrow they say they want to end insecurity. There is no way insecurity can thrive the way it is in Nigeria without the involvement of some of those big boys. Last week, it hit the newsstand of a senator having meetings with terrorists and bandits. They said the name withheld. Why are you withholding such names? When you know that we're in this type of a dire situation, why not bring this man to book immediately and let him begin to pinpoint other members of that gang? Not only that, where are these people hiding? Where are they holding their meetings? Why is it that it is very difficult for our Nigerian intelligence gathering not to be able to locate those people? If it is even difficult, there is this mechanism in the ICT world that can perceive the order of a man even from 2 kilometers away. And they know the type of gathering, they will know the type of gathering, you go the type of discussion they are having. Why can't you send your Tucano against these people? And I believe that if they want to use the Tucano, they will still send for the makers to come and service them because they've been there for a very long. They came during the time of what do they call him, Muhammadu Buhari when he was president. They've not used them. I don't think they have ever won the flown. And the order being given by the president then that do not arrest, do not kill these people, arrest them and de-radicalize them. You don't de-radicalize a terrorist. It's like you are telling a snake that go and bite no more or go and sting no more. It is not just possible. So if Mr. President actually wants action to be done on this issue, now that you have given an executive order, if they fail to carry it out, then punish the person that you have given that order that refused to do it. But rather, they will tell you, Mr. President was not aware that the order was not carried out. We've had that before in this country. When they say the IGP should relocate to, is it Katsina, which of the states in the north? And he didn't go. So when they were now asking Mr. President, Adesina then, who was the spokesperson, said, Mr. President was not aware that the order was not carried out. Is that not a shameful statement from somebody at that level? Telling the whole world that the president gave an order and nobody was aware that the order was not carried out. You're supposed to have kept quiet. If you cannot contribute to the profitability of an establishment, don't contribute to the rising cost of producing a product. So if the president wants this thing to be done, look, there is a way which they will do it and everybody will be happy over it. Unless, of course, you want to tell us that it's part of your car business, then we open a channel and make it a constitutional issue for revenue being derived from kidnapping. But if that is not done, then every other thing we are paying lip service.
I think the reason why the presidency is giving that order is because just a few days ago they unveiled 2 helicopters. Why is it that when the security agencies in Nigeria unveils any maybe
security
gadgets or anything, they just boast about it? And here on the front page of the Punch newspaper, federal government vows end to insecurity as NAF unveils attack helicopters. Is this all?
Alex, you don't argue how to jump where there is a vast land. You cannot say, look, I can jump. Oh, boy, say you can jump. You say, see the empty land there, go there and jump. Don't vow that you want to end the security. End the insecurity. That's what we want to hear. I can vow, like somebody said, I promise to help you, but I did not make a promise to keep that promise. See the way he wiggled out? Now, you have the nav jets now. You have the two Tucanos waiting at the airport. You have so many military tanks. And you have intelligence units of the Nigerian security system. Why are they not being put into use? We do not want to hear anything these days. We do not want to hear anything apart from the insecurity has been brought down totally to a manageable and reasonable level. Like as I told you, you can never have a free society. And every society has a crime that suits that environment. It's not only in Nigeria. Some other countries, southern part of the continent, are even worse. They are worse because they just see, look at you, they just pull out the gun and they shoot and they kill. That's what is happening there. But our own, I think it's the insecure kidnapping that is on the front burner now. But because they are making a lot of money. If they want to end this insecurity, even without even using all this equipment they've just bought, this money is leaving the banking system for goodness sake. Because you cannot tell me that when they demand for a ransom of, like that Ekiti where they are talking about 15 million, you cannot tell me that the parents kept such money in their houses and they went there and they brought the money. This money must have been taken from somewhere, possibly the banks or any of these financial institutions. Then somebody will carry this money, en-bloc, will carry it en-bloc and go to somewhere and give it to somebody. Nobody will be able to track that person. That person will carry the money and go and drop it with the kidnappers. Nobody will be able to trace them. The kidnappers, after sharing it, I'm very sure that most of them will not go back to their banking, that is to their banks, to go and deposit that money back. Nobody was able to trace them. Then you are telling us that you have vowed that you will end the security. Can I vow to spend the money in my own pocket, my own money, and I tell you that Alex, this way 1,000 I have in my pocket, I am vowing that I must spend it today. What business is it? Is it not your money? If you want to end this security, you don't need to come out and tell people that you want to end this security. If they are able to leave this place to another country, separated by so many countries, to arrest somebody and bring the person to Nigeria and lock the person upstairs, why is it so difficult that within your own territory, you are vowing before you do a thing?
Just wait to hear this. Even as they are vowing to end insecurity, just same yesterday, 17 people were killed in attacks in Benue State, Benue State community. So what does this?
They have not vowed to keep the vow. Just like as we said earlier, they did not promise to keep the promise. They have not vowed to keep the vow. That statement, that issue alone is enough to bring down the whole forest, for goodness sake. If we are serious about these things, are we waiting to see when our head is on the floor before we now say we will fight? It's only a bad man that does that. Now, not until I see my head on ground, I'm not going to talk anything. In fact, we are just playing politics with all these things that are happening. If they want to make it a constitutional matter, let it be constitutional, so that we all know that it is part of the constitution that people must be kidnapped, people must be killed, and they don't even know whether those are those small children that they are even wasting their lives are future leaders that can rescue this country. They don't know. Now, had it been that one of the children of the big boys were involved in that action, is that what they would do? Is that what they would say? At least the people in the forest, they have telephones handy. They used to make calls to the victims. What do I put them now? Is it their parents or whoever that is going to be responsible for bringing the ransom? They make calls. What is the job of the ICT that they will not be able to trace that line? Why is it that they are having NIN? Why are they having the other one, BVN? And they are not putting anyone into use. You know what people suffered in procuring the NIN? You know, some people were in the local government for about 3 months before they could get theirs. When I went to do my own, I don't want to mention the local government. They directed me from the bank to go and do it. Otherwise, they will not open the account for me. And when I got there, they said I should wait, that they are putting something together. And I should come back by 3. By 3, I got there, they said they have closed. And that's what they do every day. And one day, one of the staff called me and said, look, when they asked you to see so person, did they tell you anything? I said, no. I never knew you. She was asking me how much the person told me to give to them. And you know that I didn't get that thing eventually. I had to go to another local government entirely to go and procure it. Look at that stress I went through. Because they were telling us, if you have it, whenever there is any crime, they will be able to trace it through those information. But all those things are in the banks. Rather, what do they do with those things now? Most people are using them to defraud unsuspecting customers. instead of using it to trace crime and arrest the people that are involved. So it's just and it was an exercise in futility. Nothing is coming out of it.
Okay, let's go to the Vanguard newspaper. This time, Kogi State. The man who left the saddle a few days ago is in some hot water, if you like. Kogi tackles EFCC over, is it 50 or 60 billion naira fraud against ex-governor Bello. That's Yahaya Bello.
If EFCC has anything to prove against that guy, let them come up and prove it. You see? I told Miriam yesterday that if you are wooing a deaf and dumb lady, you don't talk to her because she will not hear you. You gesticulate. You see? That before she will know that this guy wants something from me, actually. If the FCC is prosecuting that man and they have the facts to prosecute him, why not go ahead? Is it the government that will tell you that the money is not missing? Have you seen any thief that will come to tell you that, oh boy, actually thief? It's not possible. The day a madman says, oh boy, madness is a very bad thing, then what do you think has happened to him? It's well already. Otherwise, he won't think along that line. This is not the state government that should start talking now. Let the FCC go into the field, get their facts together if they have any, then take them up for prosecution. But I can bet you, because of the type of the judiciary will have, everybody is very free to steal now. They will go for plea bargain, maybe 250,000 or 300,000. They want them to pay a fine of some amount of money, then the other money is gone. Now let us come back to the first question you asked me about the free fall of the naira. How can somebody, one person take $109 billion, one took 23 billion, one took 97 billion, individuals, then all those people, they are walking free on the street of Lagos as we talk. Then tomorrow you will not tell me that the dollar is rising against the naira. Why won't it rise? The money that is meant for the collective, the collectivity of the whole country, only 3 persons pocket that money, and that is the one we know. You know, one of these government officials last week was accused of stealing $30 billion and 6 choice properties in the Federal Capital Territory. At the end of the day, they came and they said no money was missing. So who blew that whistle? Your former Minister of Humanitarian Affairs that was accused of that volume of money. To date, have you heard that matter again? The lady is free. They just told her, go and say no more. But what of the other robbers? They will never go and say no more. They will go to the other side of the earth. Every other person is a miscreant. But those who open their eyes together and steal our national interests, that is putting everybody into this type of condition, they have been advised. But
Better Edu has not been accused of...
why was she removed from office?
Has not been convicted yet of...
the other people that are in the gulag, have they been convicted before they were put in the gulag?
In her own case, it wasn't really stealing. It was
misappropriation.
Maybe trying to pay government money into a private
What is the
account.
meaning of that one?
So, but of course, investigation...
Can they give me your money now? Can I come to your house and carry your money from you for your box and let put it in my own that it's safer in my box? Why you, the owner, is hungry? Where is that excuse tenable in the whole world? Government money in government house. Are we talking of the issue of Bakinzo? Why was Bakinzo prosecuted? If that is if it is allowed to put public money in private account, why was Bakinzo prosecuted? Because when they took him to court, they said, why are you taking him to court? I live in a government house. The money belongs to the government. And I moved it from the government post into government house. What is the crime? Was it pardoned? Was Bakinzo pardoned? So why does it happen to one? That person becomes a culprit. It happens to another one. That person becomes a saint. They now start justifying. It's supposed to be like this. No, it was like this. No, we have to bring it this way. A criminal is a criminal. If you know that you are investigating and the lady has not done anything, return her to her position and let the status quo of everybody pinching remain.
Let's go to Edo State now, and in the next few days, weeks, attention will shift to Edo State. You know why? The elections. In fact, it has already started shifting because the primaries are ongoing, especially PDP, the party in power. Edo Guba respect zoning principle of Basaki Oshomole told. That's how Vanguard newspaper captions this story. So maybe you just dig into this.
Yeah, actually, the zoning has come to stay in Nigeria. It didn't start today, and I think they should actually respect that zoning system. Otherwise, some areas will be marginalized forever. They will not smell that position. That's the quarrel between Obaseki actually and his deputy, Shuaibu. Obaseki is telling this guy, look, your area, this thing cannot come there for now. because people have benefited. Let it go to the other side. And the man is saying, no, that is qualified to run. You see, two of you cannot be seated in a dining table. Then only one person is eating, the other one is not. It causes confusion, and it can lead to a very, very disastrous fighting that will cause a lot of hazard. They should respect that zoning. Now, actually, I'm in support of what they are doing. But again, too, the zoning is not actually the major problem now. The major problem is the godfatherism that has been introduced into our polity. Until they kill that, the zoning too will not actually work. You cannot tell me that somebody will stand up and say, this is the person the governor wants. This is the person the president wants. The president, of course, is not living in that state with you. The man that is saying that this is the person the governor wants to succeed in, the governor is just an individual. You want to start benefiting from the state in perpetuity. Before you got there, were the other person paying their homage to their own predecessors. We should kill all these things from the policy if we actually want to grow. But definitely, Edo has never been an easy ground for politics, right from day one. From the time of Osumbo to Oshomole and co. Even Lucky Benedion against the other guy.
I can't remember the name now.
Who later became a governor too. No, when Lucky did not make it, he became the governor through the imbroglio that happened in the palace of Oba of Benin, when he came and he prostrated before the Oba. But Lucky came and Lucky was trying to shake hands with the Oba. And the Oba said, no, this one cannot be our governor. He later became an APC chairman. National APC chairman.
Okay, Gordon, sorry, Audu Egbe.
No, Edo State.
Audu Egbe is Edo State.
Audu is not Edo State.
Oh, really?
Yes, I remember his name in the course of this.
Okay, while we do that, let's go to this one now. Kidnapping, police nab suspected octogenarian kingpin over Ekiti, Kwara killings, and octogenarian. That means an old man. What does it say about our old people? They also, they're also looking for money by whatever means.
Some of them are raking in money for their burial. No, just on the subtle side. But again, so just as we have no retired politician, they are not also telling us that there is no retired criminal. Otherwise, an octogenarian going to kidnap. I don't know what he wants to actually do with the money. Or maybe he wants to settle his children before he dies. But it's a very major case for concern. The country actually has turned upside down. We should not hide away from it. Anything that is even being done rightly these days is taken as a criminal activity, because everybody has seen it as a way of a shortcut. And when the maggot dances in the feces, you cannot remove it from there; it will die, because they are not used to a clean environment.
You were referring to about John Odigi.
Oyego.
Okay.
Yes, John Oyego.
John Oyego.
Yes, that's the man I'm trying to remember.
That out now. Okay, I think I remember now. John Odigi Oyego. Okay, so if you've just tuned in, it's the midweek edition of the paper review on Quest Television, and I've been doing it with Comrade Efe Odom. We've been looking at the dailies this morning. 5 newspapers, what we have been looking at. The Punch newspaper, we have the Daily Trust, we have the Nation, we have Guardian, and we have Vanguard newspapers. Okay, before we call it a day, Labour protests at NAFDAC over ban on alcoholic beverages in sachet. Of course, you know this, you've been following this story.
Yes.
NAFDAC has imposed or placed a ban on alcoholic beverages in sachet, or small bottles that are below 200 milligram, and Labour is protesting. What's the idea behind this policy to start with, if you know?
In banning it or in the protest? No,
in banning first. In banning. Why are they banning it?
Well, maybe they have a report that something must be wrong somewhere, but I don't think that report is feasible enough. As far as you cannot ban parties, you cannot ban enjoyment, you cannot ban nightclubs, you cannot ban those things, because those are the things they use in those gatherings. So if they have any report that they are injurious to the health of man, they have no right to ban it. You cannot just go into a place and start turning the laws upside down without letting the people know. That's the problem they have in our area, that even if you kill mosquito on the back of a child, you need to show it to the child that look at what I did. Otherwise, the child will think you are just hitting him or her. Let them explain to us why they did it. And for Labour to have protested too, I don't think it's it's too early for them to start the protest. Let them get the mind of the government. It may be good for the health, it may be bad for the health before they do it. And if those sachets were actually removed from the market, it is going to be a big problem in the sense that not everybody can afford these bottles. And it is what they put in those bottles that they put in those sachets. Are they telling us that the production is not hygienic enough? If it's not hygienic enough, then that is the job of the NAFDAC to prosecute those people. Because every one of them, every of the producers couldn't have been involved in a scam. Let me use the word scam because we don't know why they were banned. Now they have not explained to anyone. Producing a small sachet, small milk and all this didn't start today. It started from the time of Patel in India. I don't know whether you heard of that man. His name was Patel. It's late now. People could no longer afford to drink tea. They could no longer afford to do anything because of the high cost of the tins. So what he did, he went to the market, produced sachets, started repackaging them into sachets. He used his own money to build kiosks and gave to every woman that was interested in selling, gave them the kiosks, and he supplied them. And people now discovered that even with, let me use Naira value now, even with 300...
Maybe 50 Naira, 100 Naira.
Yes, your family will take a tea comfortably in the morning instead of waiting for 5,000, 2,000 to go and buy a tea when that is not there. That was how the guy revolutionized the market in India, and he got the largest chunk of the market. It now came to Nigeria. That's why you see that all these dairy foods in Nigeria have been headed by Indians. It was the idea of Patel, and that was what has snowballed into the alcoholic and beverage industry. People now say that for you to go and buy a bottle of one hot drink, they will tell you about this one is 8,000, this one is 9, this one is this and that. But with 100, 200, you are able to take it. It's not because of our problems. They want to tell us that because Nigerians, we drink too much, that is why we do what we are doing. No. Even those who are committing the crime are not even the people insane. It is people that are sane that are committing this crime that we are talking about in the country today. And in what form has that one affected the standard of living? In what form has it affected the rate of our dollars that is killing people through local currency price hike?
Let's go to the Guardian newspaper on the front page. Regional groups, hinge coups on hardship, failure of democracy. Of course, Niger, Burkina Faso, and which other country now? Mali comes to mind with this.
They are not far from the truth. They just told us the mind of everybody. When things become so hard, everybody will want to find its root. Just like water. Water must find its root. You cannot block water in perpetuity. You must find its root. If we have good governance, nobody will ever think of coup. Do you remember this Hofred Boyani of Ivory Coast?
Felix Hofred Boyani.
Yes, he was there for several years. Everything was going smoothly. Nobody thought of planning a coup. But when he left, how many coups are taking place in Ivory Coast now? The same thing with Nyerere of Tanzania. Yes, when he was to leave office, they begged him not to go. He said, no, you must go. They begged him, he said, no, you must go. And they now told him one word, okay, Mr. President, hold on. You don't have a house in your hometown. Neither do you have a befitting car of your own. Give us some time, let us build a house for you and give you a passing car. And he said, on that condition, he will. And he actually waited. They did those things, and the guy left. Have you heard of any schemage in that place? But when you come into office, you want to enrich yourself, you want to enrich your wife, you want to enrich your children, your cronies, and every other person will be left looking at you. This is a national and a commonwealth, but only you want to sit on top of it. And people will complain, you throw them into the gulag. Look at that chief of army staff in Sudan that was declared missing without knowing that he was in an underground cell in under a mosque. And who will never know that somebody is there until the man was removed. That is on Mas Bongo. Okay. Until he was removed from office, was it last year or 2 years ago? Before they knew that man was there, and he has been there for years. A whole chief of army staff has been there for years, just waiting for one day maybe death will come and he will go. And if he had died during that period, that person will have been declared missing for life. In situations like this, people are expected to complain. And when they complain to a point, they become disgruntled. And when they got disgruntled, at a point, they now become dissidents. Then they will say the people are dissidents. They are disgruntled. Several English will start coming up. But who is that man, or who was that man that actually engineered all this unrest we're talking about? The man is seated and everybody is clapping for him. Look at the other man, an African leader, that is on wheelchair. You are going to France, you are on wheelchair, you are coming out of the vehicle, they will carry you and put you on a wheelchair and roll you to the venue. Then when you are standing, one person is here and they are holding you. What have we done in Africa most especially? That we are going through this mess we are. Somebody, one of them, was there I don't know what was wrong with him. He was passing urine through his trouser, and the cameraman just focused that place in a public function. And let's see. If they even do ourselves, we're not going to do ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Okay, it is on that note. We say thank you so much, Comrade Ife Odoma. Do keep it locked on Quest Television. Again, like I said, I am Alex Abunaya. Good morning and enjoy the rest of the day.